When it comes to home gym equipment, I think it would be fair to say that if there's a way to do it, someone's already done it. And so with our leg presses and hack squats, there's really not a lot of variation between the different machines from any manufacturer on the market. Sure, we've got slightly different angles, some have more weight horns or less, some give you handles or don't, and others are so big that they are literally waiting a worldwide reception from a bunch of eager home gym enthusiasts waiting for the last leg press hack squat that they probably will ever need to own. It's me, I'm one of them. But one late night on the wooden ship that I live on, I took a break at staring at the stars and navigating based on our cosmos above. And I pulled out my phone to take a break and scroll for various pieces of gym equipment across the interwebs. And what I came across in just a few short minutes blew my mind. And I don't say that lightly. BJ, you say that all the time. I came across a leg press hack squat machine that was unlike anything I'd ever seen in a combo unit like it. Most leg press hack squats are something at about a 45-degree angle for their use cases, but not this guy. The Legion leg press hack squat combo is a horizontal leg press hack squat machine. I know you're having a hard time picturing it, so let me just lay it out for you very simply. When you're doing your leg press, you're seated, pressing forward. This isn't something that's that abnormal, but in a home gym setting, it certainly is a little bit unusual. There's not many like it. But in the hack squat, this is where things get weird. You're gonna lay down flat on your back, all the way down, and you're gonna press into those foot plates, one of the 2 foot plates that this thing has, and you're gonna do your hack squats, laying down, staring at your ceiling, or in my case, staring up at the stars. I really hope we're able to get the green screen to work for this, otherwise this whole shtick is not gonna work. So I reached out and I said, Legion, you gotta let me review this thing because you literally don't even have a video of a person using that piece of equipment on your website. And Bob over at Legion said, BJ, that's the best idea I've heard this hour. I said, I know, Bob, I know. I'm full of really good ones. And so they sent one out for free for me to use and put it through the typical 90-day review cycle that we do here at the Iron Clinic. And I've done it all on this machine. Leg presses, hack squats, feet low, feet high, feet apart, feet together, calf raises, single leg pressing movements. I've done it all. I've scoured over every single inch of this machine to figure out what it's good at and what it just really sucks at. And I think what I found is gonna surprise you, because it's not just the unique form factor of this machine that really changes what this thing brings to the home gym community. We've got padding, we've got handles, we've got foot plates and grip galore. Oh, and we've got a cable system that features, could it be a 1-to-1 ratio system? We're gonna talk about all of that, the good, the bad, and everything in between. And I'm the only person on the internet who has it to do a review for you guys. So we're gonna dive into this thing and make sure you get every bit of information you need about this. I'm BJ from the Iron Clinic, and this daydream of a horizontal leg press hack squat is the Legion Fitness horizontal leg press hack squat. So what is the Legion leg press hack squat? Well, it's exactly what the name implies. It's a combo unit that enables you to do both leg press movements and hack squat movements. It's very similar to numerous other machines that we've seen out on the market that enable those types of movements in a home gym setting. It's plate loaded, it takes up decent square footage, and the key thing here though is that it's horizontal. You quite literally lay down when you want to do hack squats, and you are seated upright when you want to do your leg pressing. It's a very unique feeling. I've never experienced anything like it in a home gym setting. I've certainly used numerous other leg presses, or leg sleds as they're typically called, that aim to do something similar to this horizontal movement, but literally never anything like it in the home gym setting. And I think we're on the cusp of a revolutionary moment for that, because Legion's not the only one who's got something like this. Force USA has that sliding bench, and I think we're gonna be able to do a lot with that thing. But this thing right here is one solid unit. It's got a belt-driven linkage system that connects you up to a pulley, and that pulley allows you to load up to 800 pounds onto those weight horns. And trust me, I've loaded it up. It is as stout as it looks. Now that pulley system runs at a true 1-to-1 ratio, meaning if you load up 100 pounds on that weight horn, you're gonna be pressing 100 pounds. If you load up 800 pounds, you're gonna be pressing 800 pounds, and this is a humbling moment in this machine's use. You see, normally when you're pressing or squatting on a hack squat or leg press, that machine is typically at somewhere around a 45-degree angle. That means you're not actually pushing the full load that you have on those weight horns. It's not to say that you're not pushing anything, but you may only be able to squat, let's say 200, 300, 400 pounds, but you can leg press 1,000 pounds. Well, why is that? That ratio changes how that weight feels. The angle that that machine runs at changes how much force is actually required to move that weight. And so I think you see the benefit of that one-to-one system. In a home gym setting, plates can be a rare commodity. You don't want to buy 1,000 pounds of weights just to go use your leg press. Well, not on this guy. You load up 400 pounds on that thing, it is a humbling experience, let me tell you. And so Legion Fitness have taken this incredible system and taken it directly from their commercial branch. Tough Stuff. Tough Stuff is effectively the commercial arm of Legion Fitness. They spun Legion off of it to offer home gym owners competitive packaging and the same quality that they expect in that commercial line before their home gym uses. This is not a budget compromise. It didn't cut corners. They just took away some of the things that are not necessary in a home gym setting that a commercial setting does require due to the numerous use and abuse that these machines will go through as they are used 24/7, 365 in some cases. And so this machine is as close to a commercial piece of equipment as we're going to get. In fact, I actually would feel confident saying that you could throw this in a commercial setting, let's say like a private gym or a local gym in your community, and it would do just fine. It's certainly not priced like a bargain piece of equipment. This thing costs $3,000 right out the gate, but it's frequently on sale for around $21.99. Oh, and by the way, you can use code Iron Clinic and save yourself a couple $100 too. Think about it. And so when we talk about the overall quality of this machine, we're not talking about just general run-of-the-mill home gym quality. Certainly not bargain quality. We've got 11 gauge steel in 2x3 and 2x4 oval configurations. This is really just like that stuff you would see in a normal commercial gym setting. It's all welded up beautifully, and this thing is solid, man. It's a little over 350 pounds. That's a good weight. That means this machine's not going to go anywhere, but you're still able to kind of move it around a little bit if you needed to. I always advise getting these heavy-duty dollies to move your gym equipment around if you need it, and it was very simple to load these things on there and be able to maneuver the piece around as I needed to in the gym for filming and other things. But once you get it in place, this thing's not moving anywhere. It's got some beautiful rubber feet that's going to ensure that this thing does not slide anywhere, and the powder coating and foam pads on this thing are gorgeous. Zero scratches, zero dents, zero anything on this unit. Comes fully loaded on a pallet. You got to assemble the thing, but assembly was actually fairly simple and easy, but we'll get to more of that in a second here. And the pads themselves, they are nice, rigid foam. They're not hard, it's not uncomfortable, but it's not going to buckle or give under weight. It doesn't feel like you're sitting on a couch cushion. It's really exactly where I want pads like this to be when it comes to the rigidity in that foam. So when you mix all that stuff together, well, you've got that Tough Stuff DNA, but you've got it in a home gym setting at a home gym price. Now, this thing can do both leg pressing and hack squats, and it does it beautifully. On a lot of traditional machines, you got to pull some kind of back pad out, take it off from the leg press, put it up on the hack squat, and move some stuff around. It's really not that big of a deal. It just takes a couple seconds in most cases. But on this machine, not the case at all. Literally grab a pop pin, that seat folds down, and you are off to the races for your hack squats. Just folds flat, you lay on it, and you're good to go. Want to go back to your leg pressing? Pull that pop pin, slam that thing up. You've got 3 different angle positions for that leg press to choose from. Make that selection, and you're off to the races there too. That's it. There's nothing else required to switch between those movements. There's no tools, there's no weird configuration requirements that are necessary for this or anything you got to reach around that's super awkward. You do have an additional point of adjustment as well in that safety lever system. It's this little latch that lives underneath the seat that you pull that allows that trolley to move further or closer to the foot plates themselves that allow you to get into the best position possible. You're going to use it every single time you sit on this machine because it just allows you to get into it in a comfortable position and then allow you to lower yourself into position so that you get your full range of motion when you're doing your leg press or your hack squats. I'd say it gives you about 2 feet of travel on that trolley. It doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, it's plenty of room to enable you to get in and out very easily and very comfortably without having to crouch down or ball yourself up into this small package just to use the machine. It's simple, it's genuinely fast, and it's one of the things I love about this machine is it's just an all-in-one package that doesn't require a lot of extensive fiddling about. So once you're in position, you got to start pressing, right? That's right. And the movements themselves, they feel so familiar and also different at the same time. Let's start with the leg press. This is a really big change for people who've never used a machine like this because you're pressing straight out. You're not pressing at any kind of an angle. And in my experience, that removes any possibility whatsoever of any lower back rounding. You're still getting the same range of motion that you would on a normal leg press, but the ability to just press straight out, right from your hips, and not have to engage anything other than the legs themselves, it offers a meaningful difference. It's really tough to explain. It's one of those things you do have to feel, and I hope you get to experience it at Home Gym Con this year in Louisville. Now, the hack squat is where things start to feel a whole heck of a lot different. You are quite literally laying down flat, basically on the ground, but you've got some incredibly supportive and comfortable foam to be sitting on, both on your back, on your butt, and on your shoulders. I'm not going to oversell it. I'm not going to tell you that this thing completely revolutionized a hack squat or really makes a movement feel any different or affects the muscles any differently. But the position itself is very odd. Even to this day, 3+ months in of using it, I still get a little weirded out every time I lay down into it. Weirded out's the wrong word. It's just different. If you've been training for decades like I have, you've never done something like this, especially when it comes to any kind of squat variation. But you've got those angled foot plates. You're able to place your feet wherever you need them. Get just your regular hack squat or your knees over toes hack squat, and you're off to the races, man. Hit those quads and hammer them home. Where this thing surprised me is when I started doing unilateral work. I really thought maybe the trolley system would start to bind a little bit or, just have a little bit of resistance if you press on one side instead of pressing on both at the same time. But that didn't happen. I had like close to 300 pounds on there and this thing didn't creak, it didn't rattle, it didn't shift, nothing. It took that, and it took it very well, and it's because of that pulley system. You see, if you had weight horns that were riding on a trolley and riding on rails, well, that weight would then be pressing up on one side versus the other, uneven. It would create a little bit of resistance, a little bit of friction. It's not something you couldn't overcome, but as that weight gets higher, that resistance is going to get more and more and more, and after a certain weight, it's really just not going to be all that great to do unilateral work unless those plates can separate and allow you to do actual unilateral work like we've seen on some machines. But here, because they're on a pulley, well, that weight's being pulled by a cable. It's connected to those weight horns. And so even though that trolley may be experiencing a little bit of give, all that weight is perfectly centered on that trolley. And so you can pull it with ease no matter what side of it you're pushing on, if it's just one or both. I love this here. I'm not going to pretend to be an engineer and completely understand the physics behind it, but I was very impressed when I was able to press with just one single leg and experience no binding, no friction whatsoever. Now, like a lot of leg press hack squats, you can do calf raises on this machine. Unlike most leg press hack squats on the internet, this machine does not really advertise that. And I think that's pretty intentional and warranted as well. It's not the ideal setup to be doing calf raises on, but you can do it. You can do it both in the leg press or the hack squat version. I found the leg press version to be exceptionally easy because it's very similar and almost exactly the same as most of the other calf raises that you would do on a leg press machine. But on the hack squat, you've really got to place your feet on that upper plate and allow your heels to sink below the two plates in that space between. That's going to allow you to get enough flexion in that ankle and really get the best range of motion out of those calf raises. But the spacing there between the plates is not a lot. It's very minimal. I was able to get it just right so that I can get my heel down there low enough. But if you've got bigger feet, you may run into some issues there. It's not necessarily designed for that, but I've given some feedback to Legion that I think really could improve this in the future, and I think we'd see some really cool stuff with it. Now, the foot plates themselves, they do offer some additional versatility and variety in how you can approach these things. Oddly enough, both of those plates are really only intended for one or the other. The bottom plate is intended for the leg press, and the upper plate is intended for hack squats. But you know me. We're in a home gym setting. I'm going to try out every configuration you could imagine. I found that those default plates are definitely the best middle ground for things. You're going to be able to do those movements exactly as they're intended to do, and they're going to feel a lot like home, a lot like the things you've done before when it comes to exercising those muscle groups. But if you go using that lower plate in the hack squat position, well, you've got an incredible and simple knees over toes setup for doing your squats. If you're in a leg press setup and you're using the upper plate, you've got a really nice movement that feels a lot like a Smith machine squat, where you've got your feet out in front of you. It gets some incredible quad stimulation in that form. It's not perfect because I think if you're a little bit taller, you're gonna run into some height restrictions in that method, but it is possible. You really can play around with this to figure out exactly what you wanna do for that given day, that given workout, or that given mesocycle. So really just use whatever feels right to you. There's no right or wrong way to use this, and you're gonna be able to customize it exactly how you need it to feel. Now, we've got all those adjustments that you can make with where you place your feet, but the machine itself also offers some additional customization. As we mentioned, you've got 12 different back pad positions. That's really all the way flat, and then the 3 for the leg press. But then you've got 12 different positions on that trolley to get further or closer to the actual foot plates themselves. Very dialed in. It's going to be very easy for you to find the spot that you need to be in for whatever the movement is that you're doing for your general body composition. And with all that adjustability, it makes it very easy to get in and out of, especially when you compare it to a traditional leg press or hack squat that may be really close to the ground. Let's not overblow that either, though. It's not going to be like a world of a difference getting into this thing, especially when you compare it to like a regular leg press. But it is nice just to be able to sit down on a effectively seat height leveled machine. Let's talk about sizing here because I think this is an important factor. I am 6'1", and I think I'm effectively right at the edge of how tall someone can be in being able to use this machine comfortably. You see, when I go full depth on either the leg press or the hack squat, I am hovering right around parallel, right where we would want to be from a range of motion and depth perspective. Ideally, I'd love to be just a little bit lower, or at least have a little bit more room to know that I could go lower should I need it, and I'm not going to bottom out this machine, because that was something I found frequently would happen, is if I really pushed it, I would try to go lower, and I would bottom this thing out on the safety stopper at the bottom of the machine. There just wasn't any additional room for me to go lower. The same was true on the upper end of it too, especially if I was in the hack squat mode. I would tap this thing out and kind of hit the backstop especially when I had my feet on the upper plate up there. When my feet were on that lower plate, I never really ran into those issues, but we were kissing it. We were right at the edge and limitation of how far this thing could travel. That means that this machine is going to be great for people who are of average height, but I have a feeling that if you're over 6'1", you're going to be pretty limited in what you're able to do with this machine. You may not enjoy the experience that it provides for you. I've given this feedback directly to Legion. It's something we've actually talked extensively about, and they are taking this very seriously. And so let's talk about what else I had for them on that wish list of improvements that I'd love to see in a future version of this machine. As we already stated, the range of motion for taller lifters is going to be a limiting factor. And this really is my biggest piece of feedback for them. I would love for it to be just a little bit longer, just a little bit, like 6 inches, maybe 12 inches longer. It's not a very large machine. In fact, when I took it out of the box, I was very pleasantly surprised at the size of this thing. A lot of leg press hack squats on the market, when they come into your gym, they take up a lot of space. They command a big presence and a lot of square footage. This machine is not really any shorter in length than most of the other leg press hack squats on the market, but it's so much thinner, like way thinner, like 20 to 30 inches slimmer than most of the other leg press hack squat machines on the market. That means that when you see this thing in use for the first time, when you fully set it up in your space, you're going to be really pleasantly surprised at how open it feels to navigate around this thing. So if we've got that additional room on the side and we're saving space there, I think some home gym owners would love a Pro version that offers a little bit of an additional length. It's going to really open up a lot of possibilities for this machine, not just from the heights of users, but what you're able to do from a work perspective. And I think that feature alone could be useful to a lot of lifters in the home gym setting who are looking to get the most bang for their buck and ensure that they never hit any limitations with it. Second, there are no traditional safety stops on this machine. The trolley itself, it bottoms out mechanically. There are quite literally rubber stoppers at either end that would prevent you from going further in either direction. That means that there's literally no way for it to go any further. You're not going to get pinched any lower than this machine can go. However, I would still love a way to just basically dump the weight. We mentioned that latch earlier that allows that seat to slide forward. Well, you can't use that if there's weight loaded onto those weight horns. This should make sense to most of you, but once there's weight loaded onto that thing and you're pulling some of it, it's just not possible to separate that linkage and allow that thing to slip out. I think a redesign of that system could be really beneficial to a lot of users who just want some additional safety. Pulling that mechanism to allow that seat to release and allowing that weight to come slamming to the floor would allow you to know that you could dump out of that position should anything happen. If you get hurt, if you're training by yourself and there's no way to get out of it, you don't want that weight to have to go all the way down to then be able to get out of the machine. You'd really love to be able to pull that lever that's just down there at your hip and be safely out of that machine, regardless of how that weight has to fall down to the ground. I'm certain there's a way to do it. Truthfully, I'm not sure why this wasn't considered previously, but I also don't want to sell this thing as some kind of death trap because it is absolutely not. As we said, you quite literally have mechanical stops. You cannot go any further in either direction. But I would love to see that seat be able to disengage that weight should you need to, regardless of how much weight is loaded on those weight horns. Next up, I want a calf block. I want a calf block on this machine because those calf raises are just simply not very easy to do, and it's a very simple little add-on that would add a lot of versatility. Add some cutouts into those foot plates to allow a calf block to slip into them that could then be taken out and even stored on the machine when you're not using it, and you've got a nice little platform to do some exceptional calf raises on, whether that's the upper plate or the lower plate. This to me is the simplest thing they could change about this machine, and I feel like they could do it like tomorrow with very little effort. Let me know down in the comments if this is something you'd love to see on this machine, or if you're literally not going to consider a machine that can't do adequate calf raises. Now, the last thing I want to see on this machine is kind of a combination of all of the above. When I spoke to Bob at Legion Fitness, I told him, I really think it makes sense, Bob, to offer a sort of pro version. They're really tied to this unit, and this is going to be really good for most home gym owners. But there are going to be plenty of us who want just a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more weight capacity. Maybe more travel in that trolley. Maybe that calf raise block. Giving options always helps the buyer. And so if we can create a pro version of this that offers a little bit more expanded capabilities, and also some others that we haven't even discussed, I think there's a lot that could still be done with this machine to cover all of our bases. So how does this compare to other machines on the market, realistically? Well, from a form factor perspective, it's obviously completely different. We've already touched on that, so we're not going to linger there anymore. But I think when you compare it to other leg press hack squats that are at that 45-degree angle, like some of the others that we've reviewed on the channel, this thing offers an incredibly different experience while still feeling familiar and comfortable. In my experience, they all feel good when you do the leg pressing or the hack squatting on those machines. I think the big differentiator here is two things. Obviously, the horizontal nature of this, laying down for those hack squats. But I think the really big thing that makes this thing stand above everything else, in my opinion, is how slim it is. It is deceivingly slim. It makes these other machines pale in comparison when it comes to actually how much floor space is required for this machine. This is going to be huge for so many many home gym owners, because many of you cannot get a leg press hack squat to fit in the space that you have. And there's a million reasons why. This brings something new to the playing field that is much slimmer, not necessarily compact in a length perspective, but allows you to fit more around it, more in your space, and still get all the benefits out of a leg press and a hack squat machine. It's just as sturdy, if not more sturdy, than most of those other machines that we've reviewed on the channel. And I know you're going to be impressed with the build quality of this machine. It was immaculate when I took it out of that crate. Compared to assembly from some of these other machines, this one was actually really simple. No weird 45-degree angles to tackle with. You just set it up and boom, you're off to the races. It took me maybe 90 minutes, I think. And the continuous improvement that Legion is bringing towards this is incredible. When I took delivery of this machine, I had literally been talking to Bob for a while, and he kept delaying this machine getting sent out to me. The reason for that was he wasn't personally happy with the rollers that were on the trolley. When I received it, I had version 3, and Bob did not even want me to have version 3 of those rollers. He said they weren't good enough. Well, I assembled it, put it together, and used it, and I was like, I have literally no idea what you're talking about, Bob. I just loaded over 600 pounds on this thing, and it's rolling just fine. Well, the upgraded roller showed up about a week later, and again, I told Bob, look, man, these feel good. I can't say they feel better. I'm not noticing anything, but you spend so much time with this thing, I'm sure you're noticing it. But it feels perfect. And I think that iterative process that Bob is going through for this machine just tells you how much passion is behind this particular piece of equipment. That extends to all of their equipment. And Bob is making sure that no matter what it is, everything is combed over with a fine-tooth comb. I'm very confident that we're going to see a version 2 of this machine, because I'm sure Bob is still tinkering with how to make this thing better. And I do hope that we see a pro version of this machine too, like we outlined earlier. But as it stands today, who is this machine for? Well, first and foremost, this machine is for anybody who wants a leg press hack squat that is of commercial quality at a home gym price. I think that goes without any additional explanation. Second, and maybe most importantly, the space constraints that this allows you to live within. If you've got a narrow space, if you're trying to get a leg press hack squat set up to really amplify your leg days, this is the solution, I think, for you. There's really nothing else like it on the market. Nothing that doesn't compromise in some additional way or take away some additional versatility. Next up, someone who wants that additional variety in how they can place their feet, mess around with their biomechanics, this thing offers you a lot of potential and a lot of options in that realm. And also, this is going to be for anybody who's just tired of having to load a ton of weight onto these machines to get a good, adequate leg press in there. I'm telling you, I can load over 1,000 pounds on a traditional leg press. Loading over 400 on this thing is a very, very honest and humbling experience. But I don't think it's for everybody. Like we said, if you're over 6'1", I think you're going to start running into issues with overall range of motion. I can't promise it. I haven't been able to test it on my own, but I am telling you that at 6'1", I am brushing the limits of the range of motion on this machine. Me personally, I'm still getting a perfect workout. I am not inhibited in any way, and I could see myself using this for a very long time. But if you're really in the zone, if you want to throw this and everything else into the kitchen sink and just go without any worry whatsoever, this may not be the machine for you just yet. Maybe hold out and hope for that version 2 improvement. If you're somebody who wants to buy a machine like this but absolutely needs good calf work, it's there. It's there. You can do it. I'm telling you, you can do it. It's good. But I do think there are other machines that in this current day and age do it a little bit better than the Legion leg press hack squat. It's good. It's not bad by any means, but it's just not as good as it could be. And with some very minor tweaks, this thing could blow everything out of the water. And lastly, of course, obviously, if you're somebody who just looks at this horizontal thing and you're like, no thanks, I want to stick with my 45-degree stuff. Well, okay. I'll put some links in the description for you. You can go check out those machines. So what's the final verdict on this thing? I love it. I love it. I really do. I was skeptical at how good it could be. It looked a little gimmicky, I'll be honest, but it's not. This has pushed me in ways that other leg presses have not been able to do. You're getting commercial grade 11 gauge steel, 1-to-1 ratio on those cables, super solid lower body movements for your leg days, which we all need more variety for in our home gym settings, and a footprint that can play well in almost any home gym in the world. It's a really solid value, especially for $21.99. That's incredibly effective and cost effective, especially when you compare it to other machines on the market that are right about that same price point. I said it earlier, I want to say it again because I don't think it can be understated. There is nothing else on the market that does it the way this thing does. And so it's unique. It does have that unique factor, but not in a gimmicky way. It still delivers the workout that you want. It pushes you in the way that you want. It just does it in a slimmed down package and in a different format. My only true gripe with this thing is that range of motion and the length of this machine. We improve that, this thing can get a 10 out of 10 from me. And like we said, Bob from Legion loves to iterate on this stuff. I would be very surprised if we don't see a second version of this machine that addresses that issue. I want to thank Legion Fitness again for sending this thing out for that 90-day review. They have been an incredible partner, and this has been such a dream to use. They've been very generous in offering a $250 off coupon that you can use at checkout. Code IronClank will save you that, and of course help support the channel as well, and I cannot thank you enough for that support. It means the world. If you have any additional questions whatsoever, please leave them down in the comments. I will be there helping you guys figure this stuff out, and I'll include all the information you need about this thing in the description as well. Thanks again for being here, everybody. Keep being great. keep pushing forward, and keep getting better every day.